No problem here. So it says here, local shoe store, looking at a similar problem. Um, maybe these are the same numbers. So this 30, 101. So this one, okay. So again, like this is like exact same numbers,
Hmm.
um, which is good. But we gotta be careful here too. So the local shoe store, so there's something in the problem where it says that you make to get to the shoe store, you got to go a different shoe. You're going 15 plus 15 plus 30. So there's something in there. I don't know. I've heard shoes, three different stores in the area, so boots she liked each way, 15, 15. Okay, so what it is it's 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back, and then 30 minutes in the store. That's what I'm seeing. Because it says each way. Is that clear? So
Yeah.
that's a total of 60. So that's the time it takes for for that. And then we do the same thing for the second one. The second one is again, we'll call it the town. It's the 30 plus the 30 each way plus the 30 in store. That's 90 total. And then the rural outlet, it's 60 plus 60 plus the 30 there, which is 150 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And there you go. We've got that first part. So um, the uh, next thing here is to take the rate, her rate, and multiply it by the number of hours. I'm going to slide this over. So to determine the number of hours, you divide by 60. That's 1 hour, 60, 1.5 hours, 60, 2.5 hours. You can just add them up. And then you take the number of hours times the rate. So if you go back to the problem, which I know you can't see, it says $36 per hour in lost income. So we know that 1 hour costs her $36. 1.5 hours is 36 times 1.5, which is 54. And then the rural outlet is 2.5 times 36, which I think is 90. Probably want to double check me on that one. But um, yeah, these
Okay.
are certainly are
I dang it.
what?
I accidentally tried to check the first one and it checked the whole problem.
Yes,
No.
that's bad. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. So
Oh man, that's
that's okay. That's okay. We'll let me just finish the explanation here. So then you add these up, 150, 155, and then 180. And then there you have that. So it says, assume that Sienna considers both her operating costs and the price of boots when making her shopping decision. Sienna will minimize her cost of buying boots shops at the, so it's the one with the lowest total cost, which is the local, probably says that. Okay, so here's what we can do. You said you already kind of checked this.
yeah, well now it's not gonna let me do that problem.
Right. So what I'll do here is go back to, I'll, on my side, let me, uh, I mean, it's going to keep the highest. So what I can do here, and we've got another issue where like, if I'm logged in, I probably should enter the answers.
Uh-huh. Oh really?
Because if I navigate away, or if I don't hit save, let me show you this on the other screen. Um,
I wonder if I could get in trouble for having like two computers logged in.
it is potentially a problem, but I'm not in China and I'm not in India. Most of the people that do that go to people in India, and they
Oh
shouldn't do
really?
that. Yeah, you shouldn't trust someone in India with your work. Not because they're Indian, but just because from India, it's just because it's just bad practice. There's nothing wrong with working with contractors, just that. So anyway, what I was trying to say is like, I don't know what you want me to do here. I'm pretty sure if I enter the answers here, it won't be right, but do you want me to try?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, like it won't take these. All right, And then she wants to shop the local because it's the cheapest. All right, I'm gonna click rate it now. So there you go, duplication, that's gonna be bad. So what I was gonna say though is like what I can do is enter the answers, not in the future problem, click save and continue, and then you could come back and submit it or grade it now, or I can click grade it now each time. For this one, we do need to
Okay.
go back to the assignment. Uh,
It
and you
won't like
email,
send them a notification saying that I'm trying to
no,
like,
no,
okay.
no. But what we've got here is that now it's gonna reload a new problem.
Yeah,
And okay, well, actually, so
that's mine. Yeah.
yeah. So do you want us to try another version, or do you feel like you have enough to do this on your own? What is best for you?
Um,
We can probably do it on the screen. It's
yeah.
the same.
Let's just try another.
Okay. Good news is it's keep the highest. Some instructors are
Yeah.
awful. So here is the only difference here is in these numbers over here, which don't affect the outcome.
Mhm.
So the local store is 15
Mhm.
plus the 30 minutes there. So it's again, it's ends up being a full hour, and the cost though is 50 this time. So instead of multiplying by the 36, it's by 50. So this first box is 1 hour times 50. The second one is 30, 30, and 30. That's 1.5 hours times the 50. That's 75. The last one is 60, 60, and 30. 2.5 times the 50 is 125. And then you're just going to add these up here. 189, 189. Sorry, 179. Almost messed that up. Recommend you check these as well. 189, 75, 179. Does this look okay to you?
Yeah.
So the lowest opportunity cost is the neighborhood in town during the different neighborhood in town. Does that look the lowest to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I can either do a grade it now, or
Uh-huh.
I can click save and continue. Save and continue means you can come back later on and look at it. You got a friend in the class that wants some
Yeah.
help. It's up to you. What do you want?
I guess you could just grade it now. I think I can go
Okay.
back still and look at it even.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
See, I added wrong. 198.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. So you had to, yeah.
That's fine.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry about that. All right. Next one. You already did that one. Great. Continue. Again, these are all in Chegg, Quizlet, Course Hero. Lots and
Hmm.
lots of problems here. All right. So uh, suppose that Alvia is a diligent third-year college student. One day she starts by working through 300 sample problems. Wow. Starts the class. She works at 7 a.m. So by 8 a.m., 120 solved, 9 a.m., 210, 10 a.m., 270, and then so on. So if you didn't notice here, she solves a lot in the first hour, 120, then only 90 in the second hour, 210 minus 120, then only 60 in the third hour, and then only 30 in the final hour. So
Yeah.
the answer here is the marginal or additional gain from the second hour spent from 8 to 9. Basically, it's like how much more is she solving is, I'm pretty sure, just the difference between those two, but I never feel good going that direction. So I'm gonna definitely check this in Chegg. Make sure you look for um make sure you look for thumbs up answers if you're going this route. A lot of people
Yeah.
submit things that aren't any good. And, all right, so
It wouldn't be 90 problem. Like 90 would,
to me, yeah, I think it's 90, but I just because it says additional, so I don't know if it's the difference
yeah.
between the two of them. So always like to check a couple of problems here to see. Marginal gain is, yeah, so from the 7 to 8 a.m., sorry, from 7 to 8 a.m. No, this is 8 to 9. Okay, from 8 to 9 is 90. We'll go with 90 there.
Mhm.
Okay, from the fourth hour, from 10 to 11, she's only doing 30 problems. that okay? From 10 to 11. That's just how many problems is
Yeah.
she able to do there?
I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Um, Now, the next part here, it says, they tell me that and you really do have to read all this. The following week, her professor says that in teaching, work on 105 multiple choice questions boosts the score by about the same amount as spending an hour reviewing lecture notes. So for simplicity, assume that students are able to review lecture notes at a constant pace during each hour spent studying. Okay. Given this information, in order to use her 4 hours of time spent studying at the highest possible test score, how many hours should she have spent solving multiple choice problems, and how many hours should she have spent reviewing lecture notes? So we're trying to like figure out, well, where does this 105 fall? So like her first hour is best spent
She did 120.
20. So you definitely would do that. But then the second hour, if you divide by two, that's 105 and 105. But you'd rather do the first hour doing 120 and then spend 3 hours doing this because 105 is more than 90, more than the 60, more than the 30.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can make $120 here for an hour, and then you can get $105 per hour. Well, you're going to do that first, then you're going to do three of those. So this is my recommendation here. Let me go ahead and check the wonderful internet here, and that looks consistent with the internet there. So is it clear how we're coming up with that? That
It is.
120 for 1 hour, 3 hours in the others because it's better. All right. So if you're okay, I'd like to grade it now.
Yep.
So the other thing that you could do, because it's keep the highest, is you could not answer any, you could just leave all these blank. And
Uh-huh.
then when you grade it now, it gives you the explanation. You could, screen capture all that and try to work, reverse work it out.
Uh-huh.
It's up to you though. There we
Yeah,
go,
I mean,
three,
if you
three.
can't find it on Chegg, you could do that, huh?
Yeah. So it's the explanations are actually really good in this 10 gauge. Like it really is.
Okay.
I actually think they're excellent. It's exactly what we did, 210 minus 120, 300 minus 270, and so on. All right.
That's
Thank
smart.
you.
I need to try and do that.
So, for example, this one is probably 100% online. Do you want us to look at this or move on to something else?
Oh yeah, you can leave that one.
Okay. So, do you want me to save and continue, which keeps this one up? Otherwise, it'll
Yeah, yeah, if
regenerate.
you could save it.
Okay. This one's same deal here, but let's got some numbers in it. Uh, yeah, this one's all online. And that's kind of another like hack here is like, let's say you can't find this one online
Uh-huh.
and continue without saving, it'll regenerate a problem. Maybe the next one is online. This one's probably also online. Same thing here. Same thing here. And some of these, like, I just won't know. Okay.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
I'm happy to go to the next assignment if that's what you would like,
Yeah, I
or
feel good about that. We'll
we could
do
also
that.
go back to number two and do it correctly for the full points, but
Mhm.
that's up to you. All right.
Mhm.
So like I don't know this. I mean this is something you can find online. I don't really have a lot of input on this.
That doesn't
So
really have any numbers in it either.
yeah, and we could certainly do some of this, but um a lot of these are about kind of using that example on the internet to kind of figure out like which it is. So it might not be Clancy earns $275 per week working for Barry's bar. It might be someone else. Might be someone,
Uh-huh.
doing the tutoring. Um, that's the kind of thing to look for. This one, for example, down here will be like, these two or these top two. And I'm happy to find them. Like I'm letting you know ahead of time, like I don't know right off the top of my head these names. It's not like statistics
Yeah.
where I can just work it out here. Now this one we
Do
could
you like
probably do.
tutoring econ though? Because I know we looked
I
at some
do. I do.
accounting stuff
I do.
on
I do like talking about it. It just means I gotta go look at it first. So this
yeah.
one I can explain without looking up. Um, Efficiencies in the production possibilities model. There's always two things. And they usually use like guns and butter in your textbook, but it's handbags and rye, whatever. So
Mhm.
there's points here. The points on the curve are efficient. Like they're the best use of your resources. The points in here are considered inefficient because you can actually, it's like when you're not working as hard as you're supposed to be, or you're not doing as well as you're supposed to, meaning and someone out there, you can always do better. Okay.
Yeah.
F and E are impossible. Like it's like I'm not playing in the NBA. I don't know. You pick the example you want for things like it's just not happening. Like, I'm not going to Mars, whatever. You just think of something that's impossible. Impossible. This is inefficient. These are efficient. And you'll get like one question on there. So point A is efficient, point B is efficient, point C and D are inefficient because you can do better, and then E and F are not attainable or like that. We can grade that now. And that's, you get like one question on your test on that, something like that. And this again, this explanation is perfect. Like this is exactly what I just said, only, perfect econ language. All right. We can probably do this one. Shifts in production possibilities. Suppose that the fictional country of Yellowstone produces two types of goods, agriculture and capital. Okay, so the rice is the agriculture, the capital is electric scooters. Following diagram shows current production possibilities, frontier for rice and scooters. Great. Drag the production possibilities frontier on the graph to show the effects of a breakout of an avian flu that sickens millions of workers. Okay, so when you have your workforce is reduced, you're not making as much of anything. You just can't.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like when you get sick, you don't work as many hours. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, there's scenarios where it only moves one, but not the other. Like let's say only the agricultural workers got sick, which I don't think is the case here, but that's something to think about. Like if only the agricultural workers got sick, only that would move in. But I believe the way this is written is it says it sickens millions of workers. It doesn't say just those that work outside.
Mhm.
Having said all that, why not take a quick look here at what other people have done here. This one has no thumbs up, but this one does show it working. Uh, Decrease. Okay. Are you okay with this? I mean, let's grade it
Yeah.
now. Yeah. And again, if you don't have that, you can click on the graph for the correct answer. It goes toggles between. Great. Okay. Oh, 5 points. Okay. This one is worth doing. Lorenzo is a talented artist who sells handcrafted goods on his website. Currently crafts and sells both pictures of frames and baskets. Spends 8 hours a day working on crafts. Following table gives different daily output scenarios depending on how much time he spent on each good. Okay. So they're saying here is what is possible. Picture frames, 8 picture frames and 0 baskets. 6 and 2, 4 and 4, 2 and 6, 0 and 8. Nice and so it says on the following graph, use the blue points to plot his initial production. So like these are data points here. This is X,
Mm-hmm.
This is y. So we need to plot 8, 0, 8, 0, 6, 2, 4, 4, 2, 6, and 0, 8. There we go. Make sure you use all of these up. I've made that mistake many times. Students
Okay.
just, not, it's not gone. Now, it's said in like the practice, like you don't always use everything, but usually you do. Okay. Now, what's the deal with the new PPF? Okay, we'll get to that. You're really supposed to read these in order. I'm really bad though at looking ahead,
Uh-huh.
but we'll do it in the way we're supposed to. Suppose Lorenzo is currently using combination D, producing one picture frame per day. His opportunity cost of producing a second picture frame per day is, yay. How do we do that? So
You can't really tell if that's five, what what that one's on. Like if
yeah,
it's 7 or
right.
8.
So there's something else going on here. I don't completely understand. So let me go to find out. Opportunity cost for producing is, why is it 16 minus 14? Just looking at the solution, you're trying to gauge how to do it. It looks like producing one picture frame, his operating cost producing a second picture frame per day is, so he's currently producing one picture frame. Okay, so here it is. See how he's producing one picture frame right here?
Uh-huh.
If he wants to produce a second picture frame, how many baskets does he give up? What's the difference in these
2.
two? So there it is. 2 baskets per day. Now suppose Lorenzo is using combination C, producing 2 pictures frame per day, and now he wants to produce a third. So he's got 2 picture frames. He wants to produce a third. That's going to cost him 6 baskets,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a lot.
Okay.
But we don't. From the previous analysis, you can determine that as Lorenzo increases his production of picture frames, his opportunity cost of producing one more picture frame. So basically, they're saying like, okay, he only went up from 1 to 2 picture frames, and it cost him 2, but 2 to
Yeah.
3 now costs him 6. So it gets worse.
Yeah.
It increases. Like the next one up here is like go from 8 to 0 is 8 picture frame. Or
That's a
one
lot.
more picture frame is 8 baskets, a lot, yeah. Okay. Suppose Lorenzo buys a new tool that enables him to produce as many picture frames per hour as before, but it doesn't affect his ability to produce baskets. Okay. So all it does is increase his picture frames. So you're basically doubling the picture frames. You go back here. So instead of being 8 picture frames, it's now 16. I don't know.
Mm.
Why isn't that on there? Did I graph the wrong thing? Let me go and look at this. Right, this one. Sorry, I don't understand. It says produce twice as many picture frames. Okay, so that's the produce here. The 4 and 0. Okay, so it's 8 and 0, 6 and 8. Okay, now that makes sense. Um, all right, so I did mess this up over here, and we do have to fix this. Um, so wow, I did mess up this original one. We're gonna have to go back and fix it. So the thing is here, it says he spends 8 hours a day working on crafts. So if he spends 8 hours a day working on crafts, he can make, oh, sorry. Yeah, let me look.
We could, if I mean, if you want to look at the explanation too,
We're so far into this one though.
I know.
I don't want to do that unless we have to. So the graph here from the other person, that's the initial one. 4. Okay, so I graphed, everything I'd graphed is completely wrong here. So let me just go these off, get these off.
I feel like that made sense though.
Yeah, we're looking at the wrong one though. It's my fault. Totally my fault. We need to look at the produced. So we're
Okay.
going to graph 4 and 0, 3 and 8, 2 and 14, 1 and 16, 0 and 17. All right, so the 4 and 0 right there, 3 and 8, 2 and 14, 1 and 16, 0 and 17. Okay. Now in the new scenario here, it says he can produce twice as many picture frames per hour, twice as many picture frames per hour. So we can now do, I guess, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 0.
Mhm.
That's the understanding here. So it's now 8, 0, 6, 6, 8, 4, 14, 2, 16, 0, 17.
Okay. Sorry, how do you figure that one out again?
I'm doubling these because it
Okay.
says it only affects the picture frames twice as many picture frames per hour as before, but it doesn't affect his ability to produce baskets. So
Because
it's
I got
producing,
confused because picture frames under hours is
yeah,
already doubled.
this is irrelevant. This is
Yeah.
irrelevant. It's like if he spends 8 hours in picture frames, he makes 4.
Hmm.
If he spends 6 hours in picture frames, he makes 3. 4 hours, he makes 2. 2 hours, he makes 1, and so on. So that it's actually irrelevant. What you care about, and that's what I messed up the first time, is it's the production. It's not the hours. We don't care about the hours at all.
Okay. What does PPF stand for again? Sorry.
Predict production possibilities frontier.
Okay.
It's right here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, right there. So because he can now make more picture frames per hour, Lorenzo's opportunity cost of producing baskets is, so it's it's
Lower. Or
yeah, I think it's lower because the other one was increases. Let me double check. These last ones are like worth a full point, whereas uh it's this one says higher, which I don't understand. Let me go look at one more reference here. I see another higher. Let's just we go higher on this. I can look for one more reference. So I did find one that's exactly like this. See if it's got any thumbs up votes. One thumbs up. It's not very many. Yeah, this one else is greater than. Okay. Can I go with this?
hmm.
All right. We get so I yeah, it can't tell you how many times we didn't do something, but I think we read through it all. There it is, 5 out of 5. It's a biggie. All right. moving on. And yeah, we can do this later if we want later. We want. All right. Again, we can do that later. All right. So we'll come back to this. Maybe it looked overwhelming having, are you taking like is this a C, like an 8-week course?
Um, no, but oh, you know what? My accounting one was, I think. Sorry, I get confused. So I have a lot of classes this semester.
Yeah, it looked like, oh my God, 3 assignments. It's like, wow, this is gonna be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
This one is also going to
No, it's
be
it's a regular class.
okay. All right, here we go. We can look at this one. David and Morgan are farmers. Each owns an 18-acre plot of land. Following table shows the amount of maize and squash each farmer can produce per year on given acre. Um, each farmer chooses to vote all acres to producing maize or squash, or some produce rest. Okay, so the big thing here is like they have an 18-acre. This is per acre.
Uh-huh.
So David can either do 28 times 18 maize, which we need to calculate. Grab your calculator. That's 504. So David can either do that's one of these. So 504, or he can do 7 times 18 squash, 126. So that's the possibilities for David, either 504
Hmm.
or 126. We do the same thing for Morgan. Morgan is 18 times 18. 324 is the same amount of land. And
And
then
what tells you to
6,
multiply? Sorry, in the directions.
yeah, good question here. It's right up here. Each one owns an 18-acre plot of land.
Oh, okay.
And it's per acre. It's like you make $28 per hour, you work 18 hours, you're tired.
Yeah.
Um, but this one is 108. Okay. So this is important here is that David, yes, it's David. Yeah, first guy's David. He can make more of both. He can just do more. He's bigger, faster, stronger than
Hmm.
Morgan. So he has an absolute advantage in both. Okay, so David has an absolute advantage in maize, and David has an absolute advantage in squash. Like he
Hmm.
makes more of both. That's what absolute means.
Okay.
David's opportunity cost of producing 1 pound of squash. So if he wants to make 1 pound of squash, he's giving up how many pounds of corn? And it's dividing these. It's like
Okay.
28 divided by
Divide.
7 is 4. He's giving up 4 pounds of maize. Whereas Morgan's opportunity cost of producing 1 pound of squash. So Morgan, 18
3.
divided by 6 is 3. And this is the important part of this course, is that even if United States has a comparative advantage in everything that it does, there's always another country. I'm sorry, even if the United States has an absolute advantage in everything that it does, there's always other countries that have a comparative advantage
Hmm.
for them. And that's always the case. Because David has a higher opportunity cost of producing squash than Morgan, Morgan has a comparative advantage. So David is giving up more. That's the idea. So like David wants to make squash, he's giving up more corn. I'm sorry, Dave, I keep missing, I hate these names. In fact, they keep going back and forth. David to make one thing of squash is giving up 4 maize.
Hmm.
Morgan to make one squash is only giving up 3 maize. That's better. Like you don't want to give up. Like if you're really good at something, you don't want to give up that. So that means that you don't want to produce squash. You want to produce maize if you're Dave, because you have a comparative advantage in that. So let me just double check these because I feel like I'm going to get these in the wrong place. This one's got this one's got a lot of upvotes, so that's good. All right, so here we go. Uh, Morgan, oh, we said here, I might have flipped these. No, I have the right Morgan and David. Yeah, there we go, David. Okay. So Morgan has a comparative advantage in squash because I it's like who would you're trying to say like who should produce what, and the answer is always that one produces one and the other produces the other. Like they never produce the same thing. So the reason Morgan, let's do it this way. The reason David wants to make maize is because not because of that. It's because it's because it's higher comparatively. Like it's
Mhm.
1 to 4 versus 1 to 3. That's why he wants to make maize, which means the other guy's making squash. Is the short of it. Okay. Can I grade it?
Yep.
I think we got it all. Boom, boom, got it. Oh, another one of these. Okay. Table. Oh boy. Okay. Let's read it from top. Suppose there exist two imaginary countries, Glacier and Congaree. Their labor forces are each capable of supplying 4 million hours per day. So that's important. 4 million hours per day. That means it's like four times that, four times that, four times that, four times that. It can be produced pistachios, chinos, or some combination thereof. Uh, Here are the possibilities. Okay. So suppose that Glacier, this is important, the Glacier now uses 1 hour of labor per day to produce pistachios and 1 million hours. So it's 8 times 1, that's 8 million. 3 times 16, that's 48 million to produce chinos. While Congaree goes the other way, they go 3 times 5, 3 million hours produce pistachios, 1 times 20. As a result, they're giving you the example. Glacier produces 8 million pounds of pistachios. That's the 1 million times the 8, and 48 million pairs of chinos. That's 16 times the 3 million hours. And similarly, Congaree produces 15. That's the 5 times the 3 million hours, 20 times the 1 million hours, etc. Okay. Glacier's opportunity cost of producing 1 pound of pistachios is okay. Pistachios is, so do we use, no, okay. So we do use these ratios. It's it's to make one pistachio, you're giving up 2 chinos. Like it's the ratio going the other direction. 16/8. And the opportunity cost of producing 1 pound of pistachios for Congaree is 4 pairs of chinos. 20 divided by 5. Is that okay?
Yep.
So the question is like who should make chinos? Well,
Mhm.
it's better for Congaree to make chinos because it's like not because the number's bigger, but because the ratio is higher. So Congaree could make chinos. And then what I like to do once I know that as I go back, the other one is the other one. So then Glacier
Yeah, sure.
makes the other one. But you gotta figure out, just like in the last problem, which is the one that's more, the higher ratio.
I don't even know if I know what chinos are.
Yeah, I mean, I think of chinos as pants, but I don't know what, I mean, it's weird that you would make pistachios and pants. These are just weird questions, just really, really weird. 20 divided by 5.
Oh,
Okay. So I'm looking up this problem in another context. They have all these flipped, so that's going to be hurting us. All right. Let's keep going here. Suppose that each country specializes in the production of the good, which has a comparative advantage, producing only that good. In the case, the country that produces pistachios will produce. Okay. So they're saying that because Glacier is only making pistachios and there's 4 million hours, they're going to make 8 times 4, 32 million pounds per day. That's this 8 times the 4 million hours. And then the country making chinos, which is Hungary makes 20 pairs of chinos, but you can do it times the 4 million, that's 80 million pounds.
hmm.
Oh boy. I just worry these next ones are not going to go well. Um, yeah, we really want to find a sample problem on this one. All the examples appear to be flipped of this. So let me see if I can find one that's like this. These are really tough. Let me go. Try a different possibility. I don't like this answer. It doesn't look to be any good. All right, one more. I'm just looking on my other screen here, trying to find a similar problem, and it's not finding it. Um, this one's pretty similar. Okay, so it's the rest of it. All right, I don't know. Let's just see if we can work through this. So it says when the two countries did not specialize, the total production was 23 million pounds per day and a total of 68 million pairs of chinos. Because specialization, the total production of pistachios increased by, so it was 23 and now it's 32. That's 9 million more. And
hmm.
then the total number of chinos, well, it was 68 and now it's 80. It went up by 12. Okay, so now it says we're going to calculate the gains from trade. That is the amount by which each country has increased its consumption of each good relative to the first row of the table. Increase in consumption. All right. With trade. So with trade, Glacier make with trade. I don't know how they're getting these numbers, so I got to go look at this other table. Where does that number come from? Where's that number come from? 48, 48. Okay, so the way this works, so the way this works is they're saying that this number here comes from this number here, 32. So they're saying 32 This is 0, this is 0, and this is 80. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's like we're going back to using like they each specialize.
Hmm.
So when Glacier specializes, they only make pistachios and no chinos. When Congreve specializes, they make no pistachios and 80 pairs of chinos. The consumption, or sorry, the trade action here, sorry, I guess we gotta do this first, is that they, uh-oh, that's not right. That means we're off somewhere. Okay, export. So this one is an export 18, which means that this number should be 26, which means we made a mistake somewhere else. This is also a problem over here on the right. This is export 74. And then these are going the other direction. So this is the import side, and then this is the import side. This is a problem though. Where is that number coming from? With trade production. Six. No, maybe those numbers are right. No, those numbers were right. I'm sorry. 32. This is 80. Sorry, I think these examples are weird. So the consumption, you subtract your 32 minus 18 is 14. Here it's the same number. Here it's the same number. And then 80 minus 54 is 26. This is 14. Consumption, where does that number come from? Okay. So that number less that number 6. So it's 14 minus 8 gets you to 6. 54 minus 4 gets you to 6. 18 minus 15 is 3. 26 minus 20 is 6. That looked good. Okay. Let me check one more to
Okay.
see if this looks right. 32 and 80. Okay. Import, export, export, import. This is reversed. Okay, 15, 20, 6, 6. Probably it's flipped though, because of the fact that those are flipped. Flip those. Okay. Matches, matches. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best I can do here. So let's I always double check, make sure everything's been done, grade it now. There it is. Perfect. Okay. It did work out. Probably a good one to look at the explanation on since I didn't do a very good job of that.
That one was a lot.
Yeah, very, very taxing. All right, let's see what we got here. Got more of this. Okay. Since I do have to kind of cut out a little early, I'd like to just keep going, but do you need like even just a short break? Are you good to keep going here?
I'm good if
Um,
you're good.
yeah, let's
Need to
keep
grab
going here.
if you need to grab water or something.
All good. So when a country has a comparative advantage in the production of a good, it means it can produce this good at a lower opportunity cost than its trading partner. The country will specialize in production of the good. We already talked about that. We talked about the idea that like if you're giving up more, you're gonna you want to make the one that you're not having if you like we did in the previous one, what you're giving up. Both countries produce a corn and basil, each producing 18 million, 18 million, 18 million. Okay. As indicated with the grass, right? Glacier, Glacier has a comparative advantage in which one? So Glacier can either make 36 basil or 24 corn. Um, it's not because it's higher, but it's because like they're giving up, like they'd, which would be better here? So Hungary, 18 basil, 36 corn. So if
Huh.
they make basil, they're, I don't want to say this. This is always kind of awkward. Um, who should make what? Hungary should make corn, not because they have an absolute advantage, it's because they're giving up more to make basil. Like every time they make a basil, they're giving up two corns, whereas over here they're not giving up as much to make that. So Congaree Glacier has okay. Congaree has the comparative advantage in corn. This one is basil. Try to see if that is clear or not, because it can be a little challenging. Um, I should also check this as we go. All right, so this one is reversed. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good on this. All right, this is correct. Okay. Suppose that they Hungary specialized in production of the goods in which they have a comparative advantage. After specialization, the two countries can produce a total of blank and blank. So what they're saying is that like for example, Glacier's only going to make basil. They're just going to make basil, so they're going to make 36 million pounds of basil. And Hungary is only going to make corn. They're going to make 36 million pounds of corn because they're gonna make all of it. They're gonna use all the resources in each direction there. Is that okay? All right. Maybe you're muted. Nope. Okay. Let me know when you're if you're back.
All right.
Are you back ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if you missed some of this, but we're basically saying like you figure out which one's better by which one you're giving up more of, and
Mm-hmm.
then it ends up being like the extreme endpoints, 36 and 36. We got that down. Great. All right, suppose that Lake Glacier and Congaree agreed to trade. Each country focuses resource on producing only the good in which it has a comparative advantage, which we already talked about. Country to exchange 18 million pounds of corn for 18 million pounds of basil. This is the price of trade between the two. And that makes sense because they're both producing the same amount, so they're gonna do that. So the consumption after trade is 18 million pounds. Okay. Following graph shows the same for Glacier as before, so the same one on the left here. And as well as its initial consumption at point A, which is from the original, after the trade. So after the trade, they're now having 18 million pounds of each. They get 18 million of that, 18 million corn because they made 36, but they traded half of it and they got the rest in return, which is nice. That's when trade really works. It's truly a win-win for people. Okay. So similar for the other one, they make 36 million pounds of corn. They give away half to get 18 million pounds of basil.
Okay.
It's a true or false. Oh, these are awful. Without engaging in international trade, Glacier and Congaree would not, that one word makes all the difference, have been able to consume at the after trade consumption. Oh, so frustrating to answer. So basically we're trying to figure out like, was this point possible? No, it was not possible. How do we answer that though? Would have been able to communicate? No, they wouldn't. That would be false. No, these are so hard to answer. If they would have been able to, which is false, not. I believe it's true. Just using kind of logic here. Let me go check this in the wonderful internet here. All right. All right. Would have been able to. Thumbs down on this, darn. Okay. No answer. Let's see if I can find a similar one. Would have been able to. So would have been able to is false, which means ours is true. Okay. I believe this to be correct, but it's kind of a weird thing. I know it's 1 point. So again, the idea is that here, without engaging in international trade, I'm going to do would have been, ignore the word, would have been able to consume at the app. No, they could not have done it. That would be false. The not, which is the false to a true. That's how I do these. Right, I'm going to grade it now.
It's true. Okay. I found true as well.
Yeah. Well, it's one word makes all the difference.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I got to be appropriate here. All right, this one's got some numbers in it. Suppose that Hungary and Norway both produce ale and glass. Hungary's opportunity cost of producing a pane of glass is 6 kegs of ale, while Norway's opportunity cost of producing a pane of glass is 11 kegs of ale. So what that tells you is that Norway needs to make ale. Norway has to make ale.
Okay.
Um, so who should make ale? Norway. So who has a comparative advantage? Norway. Norway needs to make the ale. You look for the one that they should make, and then the other one is making the other one. All right, now suppose that Hungary and Norway consider trading glass and ale with each other. Hungary can gain from specialization in trade as long as it receives more than blank of ale for each can of glass it exports. All right, so this is always confusing to me. It has to do with the ratio of these numbers. Let me go do a quick internet search to better explain this.
What are the options on that first one?
Yeah, it's a good question here. It's one of these four. It's either 1/11, 1/6, 6 or I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the one of these division ones, but I want to look it up.
Okay.
And then this one's all the other ones. So right. Um, so all right, more than 1/11. So I found an exact match, which helps me, but let's go. It's got a downvote. Oh boy. You got to be careful with those downvotes. You don't know why. Sometimes it's like one little part's wrong and somebody downvotes it. And you're like, why are you downvoting it? They don't tell you why. This one's got 3 upvotes, so this would be a little better one to look at. All right, so this first one is 6, and the second one is 1/11. And I don't have a good explanation for that, so I apologize. It has to do with like because this one is let me try to explain here. Hungary can gain from trade as long as it receives more than six. Yes, because like they need to get more than the six that they could have made is the idea here.
Yeah.
Um, because they can already make six, so they better get at least six. And then the problem with the other country is it's like, well, if they're going to give up 11, they better get more than one out of 11 to pain. So that's how that happens. Um, so then you're looking, I think, for the ones that are uh, in between their 5 and 7, 4 and 12. Yeah. So, and you're looking for ones that are between 6 and 11, which is 9 and 10, and between the six kegs and the basically the ones that are more than the six kegs there. But this one's impossible because it's too large because you can't make that many. Hope for the best here. Um, there it is. Okay, good. All right, good, good, good. All right, so what do you want to do with the time remaining? We've got a lot of questions we can go back to. Uh,
Yeah. I think some of those questions we were able to look up, right?
oh yeah, we look up all of them. I just don't want to,
Yeah.
we've done all the numerical ones. Let's see if any
Okay.
of these are still open. So these are all still open. Do you want me to go back to the first assignment, or do you want me to go to kind
That
of?
was we did all three chapters, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then I mean we could look at Wednesday's homework.
Sure.
It's on, yeah, so if you go back to dashboard, it'll be chapter 4 quiz. Yeah.
Is this an actual quiz or is it like
I don't know. That's what I was just worried about. Let me see.
sometimes these aren't difficult at all. They're all
They're all just like you can look them up, right?
yeah, they're all out there, but I don't
I'm
know.
gonna look right now.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be one of those where the first you're limited to 2 takes. Okay, so you can start it. There's no timer according to this. What would you like me to do?
How about there's another assignment due on, let me see here, Sunday. That's a chapter 4 homework. That would probably be better to do first. Huh? I think
This one here?
yes.
Okay. This one's
I don't remember econ being this tedious.
yeah, it sure does get that way. All right, you can look this up. These can be looked up.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. This is our first kind of American problem here. All right. Suppose that Musashi and Rina represent the only two consumers of blueberry muffins in some hypothetical market. Following table presents their weekly demand schedules for blueberry muffins. So on your axis here, you have demand, which is quantity, and price. So it's a little weird because this is why this is up. So you're plotting these points. X 8-1. So Musashi is 8-1. Here's 8-1. Here's 8-1. Then it's 5-2. 5-2. Then it's 3-3. 1-4. And 0-5. And that's the wrong one. All right. Make sure you use them all up. Rena is the second one here. 14-1, 10-2, 6-3, and so on. So these are the X's, the demand. I always found it weird. I always thought price was an input to demand, but the way they graph here, it's demand is an input. The price might be a good question to ask your teacher. Probably know why these are the way they are. 14-1. Please double check these if you see any mistakes. It's very easy to have one off. And I don't know if it marks you all off, but 6-3, 3-4, 3, 4, and then 1, 5, like that. Okay. Market demand. Market demand is you add these two together. So it's like 8 plus 14 is 22. 22 total muffins for $1. So it's 22 and 1, 15 and 2, 9 and 3. Lost my track here. 4 and 4. I'm just adding this up. 4 and 4. And then 1 and 5. All right. That kind of clear how that was done?
Yeah.
Okay. We used them all up. That's really good. Oh, that is everything. Okay. Good, 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 good. Oh, it's only 1 point. Jeez. Should have done that faster. All right. Yeah, and you can see here they say plus plus. You actually did this in the other class. Are you retaking or is this the same class or is this a different class?
This is a different
Okay.
one.
Yeah. I only ask just because I mean it just looked familiar. There's no
Yeah.
yeah, there's,
I mean, the other one was micro and this is macro, for sure. Or I might just got it mixed up. Pretty sure this is macro.
I don't know why it's such a big like deal, micro, macro, whatever. Like there's
Yeah,
just
macro.
classes to get through. All right, this is the same thing here. You got to plot this. So Manuel's quantity. So that's your X. Again, price is Y. So
Mhm.
it's 0, 2. And these are going to go the other direction. So this one I think will look more intuitive. 8, 4. Sorry for all the scrolling. 12, 6. 12, 6. 12, 6. There we go. 12, 6. 14, 8. 16, 10. Hornemas. Boy, they could help us out with some more native English speaking names. Or Matthew and Anthony. That's a lot easier to pronounce here. We got 8 and 2. 8 and 2. Nothing wrong, but just it's nice to have some easy names to pronounce. 8 and 2, 16 and 4, 22 and 6. I think it's really important to read them in terms of X and Y. 26 and 8, 28 and 10, 28 and 10. Very nice. Great. Market supply. So you add them up. 0 and 8 is 8, 8, 8, 2. 16 and 8 is 24, 4, 24, 4. Then it's 34, 6. The other thing is that like they're supposed to be on here. So if you get something that doesn't add up, then you made a mistake. 40 and 8. 14 plus 26 is 40, 40, comma 8. And then 44, 44, 10, like that. Boom, got it. All right, grade it now. There you go. Again, you add them up. There you go. Get the new ones. You'll get a question like that, and some sort of market equilibrium thing to think about. All right, so we can do some of these. I think these are good to talk about. If and supply or demand ones. So the following graph plots the market for gyros or gyros in Miami, Greek food, where there are always over 1,000 euro trucks. Suppose the price of hot dogs increase. Assume that people regard euros and hot dogs as substitutes. That's super important here. So if they're substitutes, what that means is like you're just as likely to want a hot dog as a euro. Like they're the same to you. But if the price of hot dogs goes up, you don't want hot dogs anymore. You'd rather have euros.
Mhm.
So the demand for euros goes up. Like you and your friends are like, hey, what should we do? Should we go get euros or hot dog? And someone says, oh, hot dogs went way up. What are you guys going to buy? You're gonna buy euros. Does that make sense? Is that reasonable?
Mhm.
Okay. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, they're
All
just a
right.
little bit confusing, but I'm getting it.
Well, let's pick something else. Like it's something that you would buy, and you're like, okay, I'm either like I don't care, it's one or the other. Like, let me think. I mean, food's a good example because I don't really care about food, but it's like,
Yeah.
um, it's got to be two different things. So, all right, let's just keep it simple. Um, you could travel to Las Vegas or Cancun, and you don't care which one. You're happy going either place. But you find out that Cancun is going to get way more expensive this year for some reason. So you're like, all right, let's go to Las Vegas. That so your demand for the one that didn't go up it increases. If now okay, now suppose Congress passes after a new tax that decreases the income of Miami residents. Okay. So if your income goes down, okay, normal goods are like extravagant goods. So when your income goes down, you no longer want extravagant goods or you just can't. So your demand goes down for a normal good. A normal good is like an upgrade that you're like, I got the times are tight. I'm not going to do that upgrade. So the demand decreases for that. And you've experienced this in your life. I mean, everyone has. You don't get that extra thing. Okay. If I'm losing you, maybe we should take a short break. I mean,
Oh, you're good. Sorry, my issues, I zone out a little bit, and then
yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to be talking to myself. I mean, this is
yeah.
meant to be
No, I'm
interactive.
sorry.
Like, and I don't like this stuff enough to do it much
Yeah,
longer. So give me some help me out here, or we should do something different if
yeah.
this is not helping. So let's look at this one. So the following graph plots the market for croissants in Denver, where you can assume there are always over 1,000 bakeries. Okay.
Okay.
What that means is supply never changes. There's just 1,000 bakeries no matter what. Suppose a croissant seller expects that tomorrow the price of croissants will be significantly higher than today. So it's kind of like gas. You uh you uh you know that gas is going up tomorrow. So what do you do today? You go fuel up all
Get
your
gas.
vehicles. Yeah. And that means demand went crazy for today. All right. Now, what I never really remember is if it's referring to today or tomorrow, because tomorrow the demand is down.
Hmm.
I don't remember if it's today or tomorrow. So let me just do a double check on this because I don't remember. But today, demand is like way up. You're like, Chegg is now makes you basically log in every time you want to answer a question, get a question answered. It's really annoying.
And yeah, my problem with Chegg too is you're allowed two devices, and every time I
Yeah.
switch from my phone to my laptop, it like puts a
Yeah.
hold on my account.
Yeah. So don't share your account. I mean, that's what happened. People
Why?
people
Yeah,
share
I
and
don't share it though, but it just doesn't like me going from my phone to my laptop. It's weird.
just be careful there with that. This one didn't really give me a good first answer. I think that's the wrong one. So this one actually suggests that supply is changing, which I don't agree with. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. This is where it says suppose croissant sellers. Now we're looking at the supply side.
Hmm.
They think that price will be higher tomorrow than today. Um, why would supply go left? Huh. Oh, this is a different question. So no, that's not right. Right on the market for croissants. I don't know. Let's just go this way. We'll grade it now. We'll see what happens. And uh-oh, did you jump onto this one?
No, I didn't.
Oh boy. Okay. So it doesn't like what's going on here. Let me go back to the assignment.
I'm not even logged on to Cengage. Oh, well,
Ooh. Ooh. That's kind of like what we are talking about. You just got to be super careful here. All right, let me go back to I just close some of these and we'll go back. It does time out eventually, right? So let's go to dashboard and we were on chapter 4
Sunday.
next Sunday.
I got a decent amount of homework, huh?
You sure do.
You should have
Uh,
seen last week. It was horrible.
this is not the right class, is it? It's accounting.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, there's no no, it's not like high school. You just get hit over the head over and over again each week. There we go.
I mean, this week is way lighter load than last week for sure.
You guys also seem to start later than usual.
Mhm.
It seemed like last year you guys started even earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, save it. Yeah.
All right, so I'm saying demand will increase today, but is that really right? I just don't know. I also could see it going the other way because demand is
Well, if the price is
tomorrow.
higher, then the demand would be less, right?
Yeah. So it depends if it's today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Um,
I'm not sure. Do you have a preference here?
yeah, I'm just reading it again. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard. So if they suppose that the price will be higher than today's, then the demand would be higher for today,
Right. But tomorrow it's
lower
yeah, it's
tomorrow.
lower. So I don't like I don't know which way to go. Let's
Yeah,
go today and we'll if it's wrong, which it was wrong,
then
it's
it's
a supply
lower.
shift. That doesn't make sense. Why did the supply? All right. Let's try another version here.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Suppose the number of bakeries decreases significantly. That means the supply is decreased. Okay. Show the effect of change market for scones. So if the number of bakeries decreases, the supply is decreasing. Does that seem
Mm,
reasonable to you?
yes.
I gotta be careful here that we didn't miss something else. I don't know why it's not finding this type. Okay. All right, let's grade it now. There it
There.
is. Okay. We continue. All right, so here we go. Demand, supply, equilibrium. So the demand quantity, this is X, price is Y.
Mm-hmm.
X, Y. So you have to do it for demand, and you have to do it for supply. So demand, first point is 500 comma 2. 500 comma 2. It's kind of like graphing it backwards. You could start from the bottom, 400 comma 4,
4.
300 comma 6, 200 comma 8, 100 comma 10. We used them all up. Demand always goes this direction. You have to get this tattooed, really remember this, really important. Supply will go the other direction. I think supply is the easier one to remember because it's like the higher the price, the more you want to produce. Maybe that's just me as being more of a business oriented person. Maybe it's easier to think of like you buy more when price is lower. That certainly would help. So 50 comma 2 is the first one. 50 comma 2, 150 comma 4, 200 comma 6. Really? Is that what it does? That's ugly. 300 comma 8, 450 comma 10. And then the equilibrium is where they intersect right there, 250 comma 7.
Perfect.
That's it.
That one's not that bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we want them all like that. Right, you can look that one up.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, use the graph input tool to help you answer the following questions. You will not be graded on any changes you make to the graph. Once you enter a value in the white field, the graph and any corresponding amounts in each gray field will change accordingly. Okay. One of the things you like, let's just say you start messing around with this,
Yeah.
and you get way off. You need to remember the original amount or hit this refresh. This is a refresh button. It looks more like an undo. Let's say you
Okay.
go, 8, and then you change it to, I don't know, 13. I don't know. You're messing around. This always gets you back to the original. Okay. So here's what this is showing right here. It's showing that at this price, which is $16,
Uh-huh.
the demand is 300. Like you and I as buyers want 300, but the marketplace only has 100 to offer,
It looks
and
like
that's
it's a little
bad.
bit more than 300 now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. 310. Yeah. Good catch, because that will impact your. So that's a problem. Okay. That means that there's more demanded than supplied. Now, if we go the other direction, let's say the price is 56.
Are we
In this
trying to get it
case,
to something specific?
we will, but I want you to see this shortage and surplus. So um, a surplus is when there's more supply than demand. That is bad. You probably see, you work somewhere and you got too much stuff and people don't want it. And then the other situation is when there's not enough stuff and there's more people that want it. So the first thing here is the equilibrium price, which is at 40. And how do I know that? Just looking where they intersect there.
Yeah.
So it's $40 and the quantity is 250. You see how those quantities are the same there?
Uh-huh. So you want the
Right now,
demand like a lot right in the middle of the supply?
yes,
That makes
yes,
sense.
that's perfect. Like think about that in terms of something you might want to sell. You have just enough for what people want to buy.
Mhm. Or
You
even a
don't want
little less.
excess. Yeah, that's even better in real world, right? So now let's make the price 48. Okay, 48. So now the supply is 300. The demand is 230.
Hmm.
You see that? It's a difference of 70. And that's a surplus. You have too many. There's only demand for 230, but you have 300 as a seller. So what should happen? The price should go down, because when price goes down, more people want to buy. All right, now let's go to, let's say the price is 32. 32. So the demand is 270. As buyers, we want 270, but the sellers like, we only got 200. So again, 70 is the difference. This time though, there's a shortage because there's not enough. We see
Yeah.
this at Black Friday. We see this when a really new cool gadget comes out. Well, what happens? You go to the secondhand market and prices go up.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't buy much anymore, but you probably see this. In that age you're in, you're more probably out there.
Yeah.
You do stop caring. I mean, you see this a little bit like in housing. Actually, that's in housing. You see this right now a ton.
Uh-huh.
So there's some issues there. All right. Any questions on that?
That's all good.
Righty.
Mm,
All right.
Another annoying one.
Yeah, got a lot of these. Okay. Consider the market for pens. Suppose that the number of students who are allergic to the rubber used in pencil eraser increases. Oh my God, that's weird. Ah. All right, leading more students to switch from pencils to pens in school. Okay, a major input in the pen production process has dropped sharply. The following graph labeled scenario one indicate these effects that events have on the demand for supply and supply of pens. Okay. All right, one at a time here. So demand for, okay, this is important. It's about pens. These graphs refer to pens, even though this refers to pens and pencils. So
Uh-huh.
suppose that the number of students who are allergic to the rubber used in pencil erasers increases. So that means less students
Are using
can use
pencil.
pencils. That means there's more demand for pens. Demand goes up because they can't have pencils anymore.
Hmm.
It even goes on to say, leading more students switch from pencils to pens. Further, the price of ink, a major input in the pen production process, has dropped sharply. So when an input price decreases, supply increases.
Yeah.
You can make more of something because the price has gone down. So in this example, both of these have changed. All right. Um, so in scenario one, what happened to the price? The price was 5. Now the price is lower. Do you see that?
Hmm.
Price went down. What happened to quantity? It was here at 5. Now it's out here at,
Like 6.5.
right, but it went up. So price went down, quantity increase. So price decreases and um, quantity increases.
Hmm.
All right. Now, scenario two. Scenario two. So they're saying here, okay, do that, and then do that. And here's what we know in this scenario, price actually increased. And you're like, wait, how does that happen? Well, notice we didn't shift it by the same amount here out.
Hmm.
And demand, we shifted more out. That's why price increased. It went from 5 up to whatever, 5.5, but demand also increased.
Yeah.
So price this time increased,
This is,
quantity increased as well. Now, this is the more challenging one, which is like, okay, well, this is your test question, which is when you don't know, the only thing you can say is that quantity increased. So it increased in both scenarios.
yeah.
What you don't know is whether price goes up or down
Okay.
because you just don't know. You don't know which is impactful. You might be like questioning that. It has to do with where you are and how much you move the curve, which are both unknowns. Maybe you'll get a better explanation in class. Is this class in person or online?
It's got a one lecture a week.
All right. Both demand, the curve that shifts by the smaller magnitude. Okay, so the correct answer is the curve that shifts by the larger magnitude determines the effect on this. So if it was larger, it would be true. Since it's smaller, it would be false. Like that.
Mhm.
I always just double check that I actually did everything. I can't tell you how many times I've missed one thing and then it's redoing the problem for half a point or something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Following graph presents the market for bikes in 2015. Between 2015 and 2016, the equilibrium price of bikes remained constant, but the quantity of bikes decreased. So what they're trying to say is the price is the same,
Huh.
but the quantity went down. So how could that happen? Well, you just start moving the curves and figuring it, like, see how the price is still the same, but the
Yes.
quantity went down. So you just play with the curves until you get there. And you're like, oh, okay, this works. So what happened? Well, demand decreased and supply decreased. You're just looking at left means decrease, left means decrease. When it
Hmm.
goes to the right, that's increase and increase. I know it kind of looks like it goes up. They'd say right, right, left, left.
Yeah.
You should see that, maybe this week or next week in class. Does that mean you get like a hybrid lecture at some point? Or is
Yes.
it just
Uh,
okay?
I'm not, I don't know. We just had that one lecture and then you kind of get thrown into it.
Okay, got it. Like I know this isn't sexy as like a study thing, but because it's keep the highest, like you could use this as a study tool for your exams. You could go and redo these ones
Uh-huh.
as well. All right. This one has a few numbers in it. Suppose that there are 3 plots of mountain resort land available for sale in Breckenridge and 6 potential buyers, each interested in purchasing one plot. Assume that all these plots are basically indistinguishable and the minimum selling price of each is 595,000. The following table lists each potential buyer's willingness and ability to purchase a plot of land. So they're saying, hey, you and I have a plot of land. We want 595,000. Andrew's got 750. Can he buy it?
No. Or, oh
He's
yeah,
got
Andrew
he's
can buy it. Yeah.
Andrew can buy it. Beth can buy it and Darnell can buy it. But can Eleanor?
No.
No, it doesn't look like it. Now assume that the 3 mountain plots have been sold to people you indicated in the previous section. Suppose that a few weeks after the last of the Maze mountain plots sold, basically another for a price of this fourth plot. Well, the problem is they still don't have enough money
Not.
because no one purchased it. So the point is, like, at some point you run out of people to buy. So you either lower your price or you
Or you
don't
don't
sell.
sell it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna stop here for today. We did get the full time in. I
Yeah,
mean, credit
thank
to
you.
you for making it